Okay, so there wasn't a countdown. Welcome everybody to Beyond the Gray Media. This is Josh checking in, and I have a special guest tonight, the dude who loves movies. Cody, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm excited to be here. It's gonna
Yeah,
be
dude,
fun.
thanks for doing this.
Yeah, man.
So let me go ahead and so we are live.
We're expecting a countdown. All of a sudden, we're just live.
Yeah, I was like, oh cool, there's people watching it now. So the countdown didn't work, but that's all right. Cody, man, how are you doing? Tell me, who is the man behind the dude who loves movies?
Yeah, man. So I don't know. I don't know. Really, I'm just seriously. When like I was coming up with a name, I was like, I'm just a dude who loves movies. Like I love the good, the bad, the really bad. I love all kinds of movies. Movies have been in my life my whole life. I've always liked movies. When I was a kid, my grandma owned a grocery store and she had a movie rentals location in there because like in the 90s they had wherever you could rent movies at, you could rent movies at. And so I would look at the VHSs all the time and I would rent whatever I wanted. It was a great time. So movies have always been my life. Movies have gotten me through some bad times, have gotten me, with everybody, they put you on a roller coaster of emotions. They can make you sad, they can make you happy. So I've always liked it. So yeah, I don't know if that's kind of like a generic question, but I'm sure we can get more.
I just wanted to have you on because of your voice. You've got one of the best talking about movie voices out there. It's gravelly, it's rich. I was like, I got to talk to Cody about movies, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that. When I'm editing my videos, I'm like, first of all, I'm like, can people understand what I'm saying? And then second of all, I'm just like, oh, like I sound like, I feel like in my mind, I have like a golf ball stuck in my throat. So I'm like, so I'm like, I feel like I'm like Kermit the Frog. So I'm just like, oh my goodness.
Nah, dude. Nah, you sound great.
I appreciate that.
So yeah, growing up with the video rental store, did you ever rent movies where they had like the little discs on the front of the VHS tape where you would take the disc to the counter and talk to the fucking lady and be like, I want to rent Home Alone 2 or
that's exactly what it was. It reminded me of like what you put on like your bag of bread. Like those like that's exactly what it was like the little disc on the thing, and they would have like two copies of each movie. Yeah,
that's exactly and you're like, oh, I hope they got one back in that Dropbox, man.
I know. Yeah, and like so when I was a kid, it was a big section, but I'm sure now it was like I'm sure if I were to see it now, even though the store's not there anymore, it was such a small little section of the store. So.
Yeah, they always had the wire racks. That's how you knew you were in for a good time in those grocery stores. Man.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Yeah, so sweet, man. Yeah, so I'm kind of a mid '80s kid. You were born in the '80s.
I was born
give your age.
Yeah, I was fine. I was born in the middle of '88.
Oh, okay, so, sweet. Whenever I talk about those little discs, like like a little bread pin, like just these little circles, man. No one ever knows what I'm talking about. Like, no, like you would have your bag of goods and your candy and shit, and then you would rent the movie. Take the little tab to the cashier. Yeah. Crazy. So tell folks who, where to find your channel, what you like to do, a little bit about your channel.
Yeah, so you can find me at Dude Who Loves Movies. One word, that's on Instagram and YouTube. So I'm on there. I'm not anywhere else yet. I don't think I'm not really good at social media, and I had a Facebook back in the day in like 2016. I just kind of stopped. Like I just didn't need it anymore because I always use social media as promoting something, and I didn't feel need to promote really that much. And if I did need it, I would jump on and promote there. But I have a Facebook out there, but that has nothing to do with me, and I don't even know how to get into it. So.
Yeah, I tried to start a TikTok. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was like, this is just not.
I know.
Not for me.
And I was on Pizza's channel last night, and they were talking about something called Blue Sky, and I thought they were talking about the sky, but I guess it's a new thing. I was like, all right, man. But I'm sure just like Threads. I don't even have Threads.
I don't have Threads either, but I'll go to read something and I'll click on that thing, and it'll be like download. I'm like, what did they say? Like it's like a bait, I guess. I don't want Threads. I just want to read the thing. Just let me click on it.
Well, it's so funny. Well, it's so funny because like I'll randomly get a message saying, like like say you had it. It'd be like Beyond the Grave wants you to see this thread. And I'm like, does he really want to see? Does he really want me to see what's on Thread? Like, you know, they're just like picking random names and telling you, hey, they really want to see you over here.
Totally. We got to talk about your Child's Play 2 in the background too.
Yeah.
If you haven't been watching Dude Who Loves Movies, he always has the poster in the background. He kind of changes them out. I'm guessing because it's always a couple weeks ago, Ernest Scared Stupid, and that was super cool.
Yeah, usually around Halloween. I like Halloween because I'll keep Ernest Scared Stupid up all month. And then I think around like last year on Christmas, I had the Silent Night the Violent Night poster up all night or all month. But I'm doing something a little different this year, so I think I'm gonna switch out my posters. I won't have a Christmas theme this year.
And these are all, you know, the standard issue. Are these reissues or the ones like the one sheets that you got from back in the day?
So these are all one sheets that I'm like getting now.
Yeah, you got like a connection where you...
No, it's just like website or eBay. 90% of it, it's from like a website called like Movie Posters. I can't remember what it is, but I order from them all the time. This is actually, like I said, like 95% of mine are original. This is not original. This is a reprint. I have not been able to. Yeah, I've not been able to find an original Child's Play 2 yet.
Yeah, I think that's super cool. I'm always like, what's Cody gonna have up today? And people always like, it's a shower curtain. Like, no, this is like the window and this is the poster.
Yeah. Shower curtain, and I'm sitting on the toilet right now.
Yeah, he's having a good time, man.
Yeah,
I love it.
Don't threaten me with a good time here. But yeah, so Child's Play 2 was one of the VHSs I looked at all the time on the rack at my grandma's store. And then my mom finally let me rent it, and I fell in love with Chucky and horror. I mean, it scared the crap out of me, but man, I loved it.
Yeah, Child's Play 2 is something special, man. That poster, the cover art, I would just flip the box over and over and then I was like, it's a trip, dude. Absolutely love Child's Play 2.
And then as a kid, you're just like, what is this? Like my sister had like the Cabbage Patch dolls. So I'm like, oh my God. I was like, what is this? And then I'm like, is this going to happen to me? You know, I was like, oh my gosh. Because I remember when I was a kid, I mean, if you think about it now, it's probably mental abuse, but now I find it funny. But when I was a kid, I remember my uncle, to keep me on the couch to watch a movie or to stay calm, he would tell me that if I touched the ground, that the gremlins would grab me and pull me under the couch.
Oh my God.
I stayed on the couch and I learned how to like watch movies when I was young.
Like, I'm going to be good, Dad. I swear.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That's
the Cabbage Patch, dude. So when the It miniseries came out in 1990, it was like a family event. So I went to my grandma's house and they all had the Raggedy Ann, the Cabbage Patch Kids. Yeah. And my friend that was a little bit older than me, I think I was like 8 or 9, they had the little Chucky doll. They just rented it and it came with some promotion. It scared the shit out of me.
Yes.
And yeah, they would torture me. You can't watch it, so you got to stay in here with the dolls and play, I don't know, probably Sonic 1, but it was a trip, man.
That's funny. I know exactly what promotion doll you're talking about. I had like the suction cups on it. I've actually been looking at those, but I'm really weird about like used things. And like if it's suction cups, then who knows what people are licking it and put like that's like weird. So I'm just like, I don't want that, but I want that doll. But I don't really want. Absolutely. I don't want to know who's been on those suction cups.
Can you sterilize the cups before you send them out? Right?
Yeah, I don't really.
Seriously, man.
Yeah. Well, like that's like sometimes buying used things. Like I always picture like I'll have a VHS. I'm like, where has this been before it came to me? And I just picture some dude sitting on the toilet reading the back of it or something. Not wiping his hands.
That's a strange time.
Yeah.
I'm weird. There's a really cool secondhand shop right by my work that I go to, and I'm kind of the horror guy. So they'll save cool VHSs for me, and they'll match the eBay price, maybe $1 or $2 less. But I have this thing where before I have to like secretly smell the tape because I'm afraid it's gonna have cigarette. Like because I'll look at the package, like, oh, this motherfucker's starting to fray or brown. And the smell of good cardboard. Like I want to buy that. I don't want the crappy one.
Yeah. Well, I bought a Dr. Giggles VHS off of eBay, and I was excited to get it, and it was in good shape. But dude, it smelled like pee. Like I swear someone pissed on it. So I'm just like, and it was like as soon as I opened the box, I could smell it, and I was like, ugh. So of course I'm like cleaning it off with everything.
My buddy Mike, he's gonna start his own business. He'll take people's bunk tapes like online Facebook Marketplace. He'll restore them, then he'll go like resell that. Like that's his whole thing. He just cleans them up. He knows how to take the tape out and like he's really good at it. I'm like, yeah, I don't have
Dang,
that. I
that
don't have
is
the time.
That
Yeah,
is
so pretty crazy, man. So Cody, I mean, I've been watching you on other people's streams for a long time. And I was like, if I ever have a channel, I got to have Cody on. He's one of the best dudes, one of the funniest dudes. Do you do any sort of stand up? Have you ever thought about doing that kind of stuff?
So I did stand up for a couple of years, actually.
I think I heard that, so I wanted to
Yeah,
follow up on that.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. It was very nerve-wracking, of course. So what I did is like I had a friend, like me and my friend were into like we went to film school and we were like going around like when we would have movies at film festivals, we would have to get up and talk about it. And me and him were like partners. So like we would co-direct and write and stuff. So we usually got up together or either he had to get up. But anyways, he was very not camera shy, but what is it? He was afraid
Like
of
stage
talking.
fright.
Yeah, stage fright. That's thank you. So he had really bad stage fright. So he couldn't even talk in like classes. Like I remember like the first day of class, like
Oh no.
we're going around introducing ourselves. I look at him, he's like checking his pulse, and I just lost it. I thought it was so funny. So I'd always try to make him super nervous. But anyways, we have like the Tempe Improv here, and they were doing this thing where it's like they were gonna have like a class, like a 6-week class. You can do the class. It was like one day a week for 6 weeks, and it was like a 6-hour class every like Tuesday. So
That's awesome.
I told him, hey man, if you do this, because he wanted to do stand up. He was a funny guy, and I was like, hey man, if you do this, I'll do it with you. And we did it. We did the show, and it was awesome. And we were on a pretty famous stage at the Improv, which was pretty nice. And so I started doing it from there. Me and him would go do the same shows and stuff. We did this thing called the Turkey Bowl. It's like the day before Thanksgiving. And so like the show's about to start and we're in like the green room and like people are, like the owner is like, hey, so we're pretty sure you guys are going to be okay with this. And if you're not, who cares? David Spade is going to start the show. So
oh my God.
So it was crazy to be in like the green room with David Spade and for him to start the show. He got up, did a half an hour set, left.
Was he like giving you guys zinging you guys a little bit?
No, not at all. He was very quiet. So he lives in the area and he was home for the holidays. And so he was like, he thanked us. He said, hey, thanks for letting me jump on your guys' show so I can, practice stuff. And nobody knew that he was going to be there or anything. So because he just kind of like showed up and was like, hey, can I
just working stuff out? Yeah,
okay, I'm just trying to work stuff out. And he was really funny. And it's funny because it's a show, it's a competition, like audience choice. So whoever wins $100 and a frozen turkey. So it was pretty funny. Obviously, he was not in there, or else he probably would have won.
So your buddy goes on stage. Any heckling? You just kind of like wish him a good time.
Yeah. I was good during that time, but it got so like, man. Like to do stand up, sometimes you would do it at like you'd be in like you'd go to a bowling alley and do stand up. You'd go to a bar where it's just all comedians working stuff out. And hold on,
you're good.
And dude, it sucked. Like you'd be in a bar where you couldn't even hear yourself talk, and you're up there like doing a set, and you're just like, oh my gosh, like nobody's listening to me. But that's where you cut your teeth and get started. My mentor, who was my teacher at the Improv, he was actually Jamie Kennedy's opener. So he was really cool. And so when I see Jamie Kennedy, like I see him all the time, but like I see him at conventions sometimes.
When I run into him,
when I run into him during the holidays, no. So like when I go to like meet him, like I introduce myself and I tell him who I am, and then he understands who I am, and then we talk about this guy. And,
that's awesome.
Yeah, we always have some because I don't talk to my mentor anymore because he was into some gambling stuff, and he owed a lot of people money, and he owes Jamie Kennedy quite a bit. Ooh, so me and Jamie Kennedy talk about it all the time.
Yeah, one of my best friends, he's friends with Jeff Richards, and he does deep fakes on Instagram, and he's been bringing him on. He's like, I'm like, how? So what do you need to do? He's like, they said 1 minute, the tightest set I can do, because he's been going to Kill Tony. He's been following them and trying to go to the live shows. We got Helium close by and some other local stuff, but he's like, 1 minute's all he said, I'll give you 1 minute. 1 minute would be a crazy amount to try to. What was kind of your set like?
So it was a lot of my set. So I was not a very, like, I was very dirty comic. So I don't like
Love
really
it.
say what it is, but like I started my joke and then like you always get like 5 to 7 minutes usually as a starter. So I'd start my thing with a joke and then I would carry it back out to the end.
Like the
Yeah,
wraparound.
yeah, the wraparound, right?
Nice.
Wraparound. I was really, really good at crowd work. So I could go off on crowds. And I used to do this thing called I call them sniper jokes, where I'd say a joke, but only one person in the audience would understand it. But that one person in the audience is laughing so hard. So it's kind of yeah.
You attack them over and over.
Yeah. So something I really liked. And like I would always practice my sets with my friend, and my friend would practice them with me. And we'd go on set and I would go on like just go off on things. And he'd be like, when did you practice that? I was like, it just came to my head and I just went with it. And it always worked out for me. But it's one of those things where it's like, man, it's very it's really weird. You can go up and do a set one night and kill, and then the next night do the same exact set and nobody laughs. And that's when you're just like, this is weird. It's very humble.
Yeah, there's a couple coming through here. I'll try to post them. Who's your favorite? Do you have? I mean, I have so many favorite. I love stand-up comedy. It's one of my favorite things. Who's one of your favorite stand-ups working now?
Dude, I love Sebastian Maniscalco.
Oh,
he's
so
just
funny.
Especially his earlier stuff. It just was so spot on. And I really used to like Dane Cook. And that's how I kind of like my sets would be like kind of like the way he would move around the stage is how I like to do that. I like big stages and I like to use the whole stage. There's this one show I was doing a set and like the lights are so bright, so you can't really see the audience really. And I remember doing this whole set and I was going on. And then I finally realized that the table I was talking to, there's nobody at this table. It was an empty table. And I was just like, great.
Oh, shit. God damn it.
I know.
That's hilarious, dude. So you kind of like pick, Dane Cook's, he's pretty just quick fire, like working that crowd. So that was kind of what you took from it. Like,
yeah, that
really like, quick reactions.
Just like his stage presence, how he used that whole stage. Like I could have done without a mic. Like I could have wore a headset and used my whole hands and stuff like that.
Yeah, he was a monster in the early 2000s, man. Just everywhere.
Oh yeah, I know. Like when he came out, man, he was so popular. It's crazy that he's just nowhere around anymore.
Yeah, he kind of hit the rom-com circuit. I like some of those movies. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I like him too.
I'm a fan.
Someone told me that he was stealing jokes, so he kind of got put out. So he's kind of blacklisted. Same with Carlos Mencina. It's funny when I took my class, they straight up told us, they're like, hey, if Carlos Mencina, because this is like a legit club, so they're like, anybody can show up. Obviously, David Spade showed up one. But he was like, hey man, if Carlos Mencina ever shows up and he says he likes your work, that's not a good thing. Because he's
stealing from you.
Stealing it. Because he was known and he didn't care.
Yeah, he has a place in Oregon over here where the local radio is starting to talk about him because he's doing some tour. They're just jabbing him all the time. Like,
are they?
Yeah, can't stand Carlos Mencina. I mean, his show. I mean, it was kind of funny until the Rogan thing happened, right? And then
man, that like blew. That stopped him completely.
Can't do that.
Yeah, there's a show called Dark Side of Comedy I watch, and it talks about like people's careers like that.
It's a great show.
Yeah,
I love it. Are you a Bill Burr fan?
So I am, and I'm not. Like I don't know a lot about him, but I like him in movies, and he was just on SNL. I watched that.
Oh, the dad one. Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
He's got a really good podcast. I think it's called the Monday Morning Podcast. That's my wife's favorite comic. I'd never heard of him, but she would quote him so often that I was like,
oh yeah.
And so when I finally watched, he's dirty. He's Boston.
Yeah,
classic, man. He's my favorite comedian now. I like Theo Von too, but way before he did his first stand-up, Theo was just his crowd work was killing it. But.
Yeah, man. Theo, I remember him from like the Road Rules Real World.
Yeah.
Remember those challenges? Yeah, I remember watching him on that.
Yeah, he was sick on that. Wasn't he dating Christina P back there with Tom Segura?
I'm not sure.
Before Tom Segura? I think so.
I've seen Tom Segura before. He was pretty good.
He's pretty good.
I've seen. Yeah, I've got to meet some cool people doing stand up. Like I've got to meet Fluffy, Gabriel Iglesias. He was really cool. So a lot of things have opened doors for me, and that's been nothing. Like I'm so thankful for stuff like that. So
That's awesome, man. I got a bunch of questions about that because you said you went to film school. So, but before we get to there, you also mentioned on some podcast, maybe it was Planet Dirty or something, where you were talking about your time as a semi-pro wrestler. How did you get into that? And then what did you take from your time doing that?
yeah, man. So sorry, just 1 second here. I'm throwing
You're
out
good.
a thing here. Let's see. So, so this is kind of not the best story about how I. So I've always liked wrestling, and I used to wrestle in my grandma's living room. I was raised by my grandma, so I'd like wrestle in her living room with my friends. Would all come up. We'd have like we'd like stage the shows and stuff like that. But then we got into high school, and I remember them saying like when you're like a freshman, you get picked on a lot. So I was like, I'm not going to get picked on at all. So I went into high school pretending it was prison. So if anybody looked at me, I would fight everyone. And then after a while, I got to where I didn't have to fight. Now I don't promote fighting. I don't like fighting. I don't fight anymore. I don't do anything like that. So I'm against violence now. But anyways, somebody at my school was like, "Hey, we're doing this thing at a place called Fear Farm, and it's like a haunted place. It's like a cornfield with mazes and stuff, and they were going to wrestle there for the month of October, this many years ago. And I remember, and they're like, "Hey, do you want to come try out for it?" So I did, and man, I remember having to like.
What's it called? Fear Farm? Is that what
Fear Farm, yeah, Fear Farm.
That's a great title.
Yeah, it's called Fear Farm, and yeah, they were famous for like their corn mazes, and they had like all kinds of like haunts and stuff. It was really cool. But anyways, I had like my audition was like I had to wrestle somebody, and then like someone's like, "Okay, now you wrestle him." So I wrestled like maybe like, man, I had to be a dozen times just to get the job, and it was just like
crazy.
Yeah, and so I got it finally, and all these years of wrestling in my living room and watching it on TV, I like trained myself. So me and I had a tag team partner, and we did that, and so that ended after like it was a whole month thing. But it was
Sorry. Did you have a good nickname?
My wrestling name was Nerve Damage.
Nerve Damage. Yeah. Nice.
So, anyways,
not like the rude dudes or something.
That'd be cool. And then my tag team partner's name was War Child.
Nice.
So yeah, that was fun. But what it was is, man, we show up and it was like nothing. It was like what you see in backyard wrestling. So it's like you show up. Dude, I remember my first day getting hit in the head, or like my first show, I got hit in the head with like one of those mops. It was like a mop with a squeegee at the end, like with the handle right in the head. I remember I couldn't open my mouth for like a whole week, and I was like, I don't know if I can do this. And then so, anyways, our contract or whatever ended after a month there because it was only for the Halloween season. So we'd wrestle once a week, and then we had like a pay-per-view on Halloween thing. And then so we were done, but we had like a wrestling like manager who was shady. He was he managed something with like Insane Clown Posse or something, or Head Hurts. He was like the owner of Head Hurts Cutthroat Record. I don't know, something like that. I really didn't pay attention to him because he was very, very sleazy. Anyways, he got us into this thing where it's like we were traveling to backyards wrestling, and we're like, okay, and they were actually more professional. But there were all these other people. Like me and my partner were like the most professional there. And after a while, we're like, why did we have to? Like, we're the best ones here. Why did we have to audition so many times? No one cared. Everyone was just sitting down, smoking and drinking. But anyways, we would do shows in these backyards going around, and it got so big. Our last show, or the last show I was in, it was like 600 people in these backyards, and it got raided. Because there was so many people, and they wanted to check for like underage this, underage that. So, and by the way, when I started wrestling, I had to have like a parent signature because I wasn't of age yet when I started.
Oh shit!
So I've been wrestling. I wrestled for years. Well, anyways, it got raided. It was on the news, and then like a local talent or like a local wrestler had his own federation or own, promotion. And that's where he saw the news and he reached out to one of the wrestlers and was like, "Hey, I want your top like 3 or 4 guys." And I was one of them. And then I went and got professionally trained, got thrown in shows.
What was that like?
It was
like professional training.
Man, so basically I knew what I was doing, but it just sucked that I trained myself to like do high risk moves. Like people call me the kamikaze kid. So I jump off roofs and go through this, go through that. And then there were just, when I went to be a professional wrestler for the year, because I signed a year contract. And I guess like, in indie wrestling, you don't really sign contracts anymore, or it's kind of unheard of, but I was kind of like pigeonholed in this place. And then they would send me off to different places to go wrestle and stuff, which was pretty cool because it was constant work. But it was one of those things where it's like I had a huge following backyard wrestling, and when I got into professional wrestling, they followed me over, but they kept falling out because they're like, "This isn't what I want to see. When are you going to go through a table? When are you do this? When are you going to do that?" And I was like bottom to mid card, because I was hired as a street level, like a street teams, which is somebody who like takes the flyers and goes to like the mall and puts everything
on your paper and everything
on the flyers. Yeah. So we were the street team, and then we would build the ring, take it down, wrestle. We'd do it over and over again. So it was not fun work. So when I would wrestle, and it was funny because a lot of my matches I won, which was I was supposed to be a jobber. So I don't know why I have a theory, because back in the day, when I was wrestling, you would make money, like, because I would go door to door with tickets and sell them. So I would have my own special like kind of tickets. So when they came in, they saw who was selling the tickets, and that's kind of that's kind of how we got.
You had like a buzz to you.
Yeah. So like my manager saw that, he was like, "Well, these people are here to see this guy," kind of thing. So I think that's why I got put over so much and being so new. But it was like, man, it was after the year, I was just beat up because I was kind of the smaller guy and I refused to do steroids or anything. So I was like, dude, I was getting slammed all the time by people on steroids. It was just, man. And whenever somebody wanted to practice to move, they were like, "Oh, let's use Cody. Let's do this. Cody, get up on the top rope. I'm gonna like power bomb you off of it." And I'm like, "Great!" And you can't say no. It's so new, so it's just like, I still like, I don't have like 100% grippage in this hand. I can't smell. Like I smell like 85% out of my nose. I broke my nose once, and I just kind of put it back together, but it bled for a couple months. But
let me say hi to the chat really quick. I forgot to do that. We've got Eli in here. What's up, Eli? And then we've got Tiana Loves Movies. She's in here saying, "What's up? What's up, Tiana?" And then the Happy Crotimus Prince.
How you doing, buddy?
He has a question where he says, "Question for the day: what was your finisher back in the day?"
So it was called the Michigani Flatliner. It was basically, if you know what a flatliner is, it looks like a rock bottom, but you fall on their face first. But when I went to the pros, a lot of the people were much bigger than me, so it looked weird. So I started doing that, and they didn't like it. Like I said, like there were a bunch of rules that I'm like, oh my goodness, a lot more rules than backyard wrestling. So I ended up doing a thing called the overdrive, where it's like you hook their leg and put your foot, or your knee, the back of your knee is over their head, and then you just kind of twist them like a corkscrew, kind of like it's kind of like a neck breaker, but with your leg.
Makes super loud contact on the mat. Shocks everybody. I could talk about wrestling. I mean, I don't watch wrestling anymore, but I was huge WWF when I was a little kid, and then when there's a new wrestling documentary, I'm all over that. The behind the scenes stuff and the stories, like I crack out, man. I can't get enough of it because it makes me feel like I'm a little kid. I love it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love wrestling documentaries. Do you watch not Beyond the Mat? Do you watch Dark Side of the Ring?
Oh yeah, dude. Dark Side of the Ring. I can get my wife to watch that. She's always like, I got a couple of best friends that still watch wrestling. They got their little Doom crew on N64 that they still play. No Mercy, and it's like they got characters.
No
but you know, if they come over, we'll put on Dark Side of the Ring. And my wife's like, that's a crazy story about Doink the Clown or, you know, whoever the weekly show is. But
dude, it's
funny.
funny.
Much intervention for wrestlers.
Yeah. And I used to wrestle with the Doink the Clown. Like it wasn't the real Doink, but I'd wrestle with somebody who was dressed up as Doink. Like there's a Doink that I used to wrestle with, and there's the Patriot I used to wrestle with. They would just, you know, they would get paid double to do double duty and whatnot. But the coolest thing is about when I was professional wrestling, I got to wrestle with like people like D'Lo Brown. I don't know if you know who he is. I got to wrestle with Buff Bagwell, who I was a huge fan of, which I know he's kind of a joke to people now, but man,
he was a big deal in the 90s, man. Early 2000s.
I was a big WCW fan. So
oh hell yeah.
So Buff Bagwell was on his way and up on WCW. So it was really cool to be on the same poster as him. For real. Like
all the villains, man.
Yeah, that was like one of the moments where I will never forget is getting like that first poster. I don't even think my picture was on it. It was just my name, like nerve damage, and then like up there was Buff Bagwell. I was like,
that's so awesome, dude.
I was like, I am on the same poster as Buff Bagwell.
So were you considered a villain back in the day? If you were doing all the kind of crazy backyard, the, you know, ECW type of stuff?
No, I was more of a baby face when it was backyard. And then when we went to professional, then it varied through every show. There was no storyline when I went to professional, so it was whoever. Because like there was like if I was against the tag team champions, which he was like the owner of the place, I was always the baby face. Or if like there was a match where I had to do something against a Road Warrior Animal, so I was the bad guy because they're not going to make Road Warrior Animal the
baby face. Yeah,
they're not going to make him the bad guy. So
you got to wrestle with Road Warrior though.
I got to be on the same show as him. Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. So I don't know if you talked about it all before, so I was like, I got to pick your brain about that because
yeah, man.
Who's your favorite wrestler?
Of all time is Macho Man Randy Savage.
Pick. Duh. Thank you, thank you. All day, and Macho and Jake the Snake. Bret Hart's like one of the babyface guys that I do like, but yeah, Macho Man. I mean, come on.
Sting is my second favorite. I love Sting.
Yeah, I love Sting too. That got butts in the seats, man. When you be watching the Monday Night Wars, I come out of right before high school. I mean, when he was coming down from the rafters every week, it was must watch fucking TV, dude.
Well, it was something about this guy going against like all these like all these bullies. He was like standing up for something, and everyone was just like, "Man, this guy's awesome." And he had a great gimmick, the Crow. You know.
The Crow was popping too. Happy Prince here says, who would win between you and Garrett?
You know what? I don't know, but I think I wrestled a little longer than Garrett. I don't know. I mean, now if him and I were to go wrestle now, yeah, I'd gas out immediately. I'm so out of shape. So I'm sure Garrett whooped my ass now. But back in our prime, I don't know. It would be fun. It would be fun. You know, I think I should talk to Garrett and be like, hey man, do you want to do
that would be such a good show. That would be such a fun show.
Dude.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, you know what would be even cooler is if I can talk Garrett into getting back into wrestling and we'd be a tag team and do like a year run somewhere.
Oh, that would be so cool.
Because I still get random calls. And I'm just like, I can't do that now, man. I can't,
That's nuts, dude.
I tore my bicep not so long ago, back in 2019. So there's a lot of I can't do. Like my doctor's like, you can't deadlift, you can't shovel anymore. And I was like, well, I probably can't wrestle. And the other thing is, he said my other arm is close to ripping. So my other biceps ripped close to tearing. So it's like, great. So I just haven't really done a lot of physical stuff, but I do want to get back into getting in somewhat kind of shape because I'm just rotting away doing nothing.
I get it, man. Same. Oh man. So, and then read these comments really quick. The Prince says being a heel sucks, but I'm glad backstage there's no kayfabe sometimes. I guess they're talking about that Vince Mann documentary, which did nothing to shed any light on the stories, but I still watched it all.
Yeah. Being a heel is fun in the ring. You can do there's basically no rules, so it's very easy. Like if you're like a baby face and you mess up, then it's just like, oh.
But you can kind of improv is the heel, right?
Yeah. You can do whatever. Yeah, you can basically do whatever you want. Sometimes you can do something and they'll look at you like that's a heel move, and you're like, oh.
Well, I didn't think you were going to say Macho Man. I thought we were going to argue, so I had some follow-up questions, but
oh yeah,
that's all good. What's your favorite Macho Man match?
Oh, dude, I love him versus Ricky Steamboat, of course, WrestleMania 3.
Yeah.
But man, there's something about he has a match with DDP, and I think it was in WCW. It was like, I think it was in 97. I think it was either a Halloween Havoc
Bash the Beach, something like that.
Or no, I think it was a Great American Bash, because I remember they had like back in the day they had like the cool sets. I remember they were fighting on like picnic tables and stuff, and I remember really liking that.
Like a summertime one. Yeah, that's cool.
I
always remember the Jake the Snake one. That one just blew my mind as a little kid. And I couldn't watch them live until probably like 95. So I would go to the mom and pop video store, the grocery store, and rent a year old, SummerSlam. Fucking, we're here talking about wrestling. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. I would rent those all the time too.
Tiana says Undertaker, huge Taker fan. I mean,
yeah, man. He's very nice guy. Very nice guy, Undertaker.
That's awesome. So yeah, you go to like a ton of conventions. There's lots of them where you're at all the time, kind of thing.
So it's growing out here. It used to not be like that. There used to be one, but now it's like I feel like it's growing a lot. But like over in like in Jersey, in that area, like where Garrett's at, Rhode Island, dude, there's like one every weekend, especially around this time of year.
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh, man. But like wrestler wise, I got to meet a lot of wrestlers through my travels and stuff like that. And I used to go to WrestleManias a lot, so we got to meet people there. So it was pretty cool, man. I got to share a bathroom with Goldberg once at a SmackDown taping.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Oh, you're like, don't spare me. Come on.
I know. I wanted to talk to him, but like just before, like some kids all like, can I have a picture? He's like, he was like, what do you say? He's like, I don't know. Can you? And I was like, great. I'm not gonna talk to this guy.
It's Goldberg.
Yeah. I was like,
yeah. He's always just a little bit off in every match. Like, I'm not messing with this dude.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was back when he returned to WWE, because I remember it was him and the Fiend that night. So it was towards the end where he wasn't doing the greatest.
Yeah. Lots of stories about that dude, but
yeah.
Crazy. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about your YouTube channel. We're going to get into a little bit of horror stuff towards the end here. What kind of got you into YouTube? You mentioned that you went to film school and all that kind of stuff too. So what kind of led to you starting your channel?
Yeah, man. So film school, like, I remember I had friends who were like, okay, we should put stuff on YouTube and this and that. And like, but back then it was kind of like, it was kind of like porn, like YouTube was like, it's like going to the Oscars and being like, hey, I used to do porn kind of thing. Or, like, and they're like, oh, great. So
this guy.
Yeah, this guy. So it was like always taboo not to do it. But then like once the pandemic hit, it was kind of like the cool thing to do. And, it was more like I didn't want to do skits and movies and put them on YouTube, whatnot. But when Child's Play, the remake 2019 was coming out, I was against it. But then I started watching this channel called 3C Films, and he was talking about the new Child's Play, and I kind of got hooked to it, and then I got hooked on him. I was like, oh man, this is really good. And then the pandemic happened, and the pandemic and me recovering from my arm surgery happened at the same time. So like I couldn't even go to a physical therapy because they were closed. So I had to kind of heal on my own at home. So I started watching YouTube, and I thought YouTube was just for like music videos and trailers. But then I was looking up like reviews for I was like, let me look up Child's Play reviews or whatnot. And I saw that there was a video. It was a live stream, but it was like already done. But it was Pizzow and his brother Jeremy watching Child's Play 3. And I was watching them do a watch along. And I was like, this is weird. Who would watch people watch a movie? You can't even watch the movie. But anyways, like half an hour into it, I fell in love with both those guys. So what I did is like half an hour into it, I'm like liking their videos. I'm putting all their videos in my
like queue or whatever.
Yeah, queue to watch. And I was like, man, this is great. They're just like me talking about movies. And of course, when you watch them, you get suggested like people like Garrett. I came across Garrett, Christian from Planet CHH. So I started watching all these people. And then I was just like, man, I kind of really want, like, this is something I could do. And I was doing film for about 10 years, like my 20s. I was just all over the place. I got to travel a lot, showing movies at like film festivals and shit and stuff like that. So when it came to like once the pandemic happened and it started like easing out and people were going to do stuff, like I kind of lost like a lot of the people I was working with because people like, man, this is a lot of work for nothing. I was like, I know. So I started doing a lot of work with YouTube. Doing YouTube is kind of the same thing, but now I can only do it on my own. Yes, it's a lot of work for basically nothing. As you know, YouTube is not easy to do, especially for like, little views, when you first start off and whatnot. So anyways,
so hard.
Yeah. And so I was watching YouTube pretty regularly and I was always commenting and stuff. So people got to know me in the comment section, and the Rad Pack was doing a show to ask questions or whatnot. So I sent in a question, like a video question, and I asked them, any suggestions on starting a channel and something I might want to do. And all three of them gave such great advice, and they were so nice. And they've been my mentors ever since. And
that's so awesome, dude.
And they've been so, like I said, so kind. I asked them 1,000 questions over and over, like 1,000 questions before starting off. And it was one of those things where it's like I kept procrastinating because I was like, this wasn't the setup I wanted. I wanted a better setup. I had like a pipe burst and something. I'm always having pipe issues here at my house. So I had to kind of move over to a corner because I was like, okay, I'm just gonna start. And I just kind of did. I filmed like a kind of a 3-hour video. I talked about every video under the sun. And then I just kind of cut it down. And when you watch the video, it's like 15 minutes long. I talk about maybe 5 movies and whatnot. It was, get to know me kind of thing. And it was fun. And
I love that video. That's a great video.
Thank you. And it kind of I hit the ground running. Like as soon as I started, all of a sudden I was on Rad Company. I started on a Friday. That Wednesday I was on Rad Company. And I was like, oh wow. And then after that, somebody else wanted me to be on their channel. So it was kind of like, I looked at it as like you had a movie premiering and then you got to go to Conan. You got to go to, David Letterman. Yeah. That's what it felt like I was doing. And it was just so much fun talking to people like you. It is just like, and it's not awkward either. Like we've never talked before.
Ever.
We've talked on Instagram before, but nothing like our voices have never, crossed or whatnot. And it's like I've known him forever because that's just how it is. And I haven't met anybody where it hasn't been that way on here. And that's
awesome, dude.
Amazing. People from everywhere can come together here and talk about like something in common. And we do it for film, but man, there's probably like like people who like to build birdhouses. There's probably a community out there for them.
There's gotta be.
There's a community for everybody. So it's just out there and you'll find your people, man. You're never alone. So it's great. I've met so many great people and this is fun. I love it, man. Like, it's 10:45 here and I wouldn't want to be anywhere else doing anything else except sitting here.
Dude, I love it. That's so awesome.
Shooting the shit with you.
And there's like some nerves to doing it because there is like this weird, like I got to kind of put myself out there and you got to be relatively confident anyway. But yeah, it was failed starts where I'm like, I'm going to do this. No, my camera sucks. Oh, my phone. No, it was just like over and over and over. And I haven't talked to really anybody. I was just like, I'm just going to fucking do it. And then so watching you do it and then just like watching you interact with people, it's like, that's the community that people need. It's just the best, especially the horror community or just the physical media community. Just the best people, man. I absolutely love it.
Yeah. There's a lot of great people out there. And of course, there's some bad apples, but they're not in my life. So I don't really care about them. So mostly everyone's been so great.
So then on that topic, what advice do you have for people that may want to start a YouTube channel? And then what's the best way to like avoid burnout and keep it fucking fun?
Man, so see, and that's the thing. Like someone like you do a video every night, right? You have a video drop like every night at like midnight.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Man, sometimes.
I couldn't do that. Like, so my hat's off to you. That takes a lot of work. Like sometimes I'll do a video like every other week. I would like to do a video a week, but sometimes time gets the best of me. And I'm also somebody who, and I've done it before, where you go see a movie and then right after you're done seeing the movie, you sit down and talk about the movie. I can't do that. Right. I have to go watch the movie and then sit and think about the movie. Maybe go see it again.
Chew on it for a while.
Yeah, exactly. But man, some people do, and that's the thing. Like time sensitive stuff is the videos that are going to hit the most. Like a movie that
absolutely.
If a movie comes out on Friday, if you have that video come out on Monday, it may not do well. It's old news by then, kind of thing.
Right.
Like,
and that's totally not my style. I mean, I'll catch my, if I love Piz, CHH, Garrett. There's people that I follow, and I want to see what they think, because it's like you have this relationship with them because you watch all their videos. But I don't want to talk about, you know, Smile 2 right now, because like I just went there. It's just kind of, it's Monday night. Yeah, it's fine. But yeah, I chew on it if my wife's, you know, if there's banter that's interesting with my friends, and I'm like, that's kind of, I didn't think about it that way. And yeah, I'm not a big hot take guy, you know, so.
Yeah, same here. But yeah, like consistency is key. Like if you, because I've noticed your channel has grown pretty fast, and it's because you're very consistent, you know, every day. Where like me, it's like YouTube doesn't know what to do with me and my algorithm. What keeps me going is doing these lives with other channels. So like you may not see me post a video, but I'm probably going to be on somebody's live during the week, kind of thing.
And I always look forward to it, man. You're so entertaining and just like genuine and funny, and I mean, and the gravelly voice, you know, it just kind of sucks you in. Yeah, consistency, absolutely. It's a grind, man. I don't,
and just do it.
I don't even
like I said, you're gonna come up with 1,000 excuses not to do it. You have to do it. Like when I was doing film, I was using like a Red Cam, which is like a pretty expensive camera, and then all of a sudden I was like, you know, all of a sudden I don't have access to that kind of equipment anymore. And then I'm just like, well, what am I supposed to do now? So I bought a laptop, and I'm just using the laptop camera. And just a lot of it has to do with lighting. If you have good lighting and sound, you can make it. You can fake it. Fake it till you make
100%.
it.
Yeah, dude. The audio is so important, because I don't. If you don't have YouTube Premium, what are you doing? You're doing dishes, you're driving or shit. Put your phone down or whatever. Like you can still listen along. You know, it's the best.
Yeah, and then sometimes YouTube will like catch something of yours, and whenever you do something in that same wheelhouse, they like that. So like for some reason, whenever I talk about the movie Megan, for some reason YouTube's like, okay, this is a legit deal, let's push it out. So it's like, dang. So like sometimes if I talk about Child's Play, I'm going to tag, or not tag, but tag, hashtag, it's tag. I'll tag Megan in the description and make it great. Do better, because I want Child's Play to do better. And Child's Play usually does well too. But there are some things, again, like talking about like 90s comedies, man, those fall flat on YouTube, for me at least. And it sucks.
And that stuff's so interesting. Those are things that's what I grew up on. So yeah, man.
Yeah.
Like you talking about Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. I could talk about that for an hour easy. Just, it's one of my favorite movies. It's like, I don't understand why the algorithm is like, nope, you're the Beetle dude now, so why don't you focus on that for a little while? Can you try another soda? Do you want a soda? Yeah. We'd love you to have a soda, right?
Like, exactly. But you know, just keep on going through. That was one thing too. It's like you know, like a lot of people will do like movie news and stuff like that, but it's just I can't do it that fast enough. So it's like that's something I can't do. It's like also I see other people doing it. It's like that's not my thing. You know, like if I wish I could do a whole video about Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead right now, but I want to save that for like later on where I can get more people to see it, kind of thing.
Yeah, I think that in the beginning, not knowing what you're doing and just going for it, it can be a catch-22, because now, luckily, I haven't covered like The Thing, The Shining, some of my favorite movies of all time. But there's movies I'm like, those reviews are horrible. What in the fuck was I like?
Yeah.
There's so much regret that I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, man. Well, I wish I would have done that one.
It's one of those things, like if you look at my channel, I haven't talked about Halloween. I haven't talked about, you know, pretty much any of those kind of franchises, just because there's so many other people doing it. But they do well. If you do, like, if I want to do a Halloween ranking, I'm pretty sure that might do well, you know?
Yeah, I'm sure it would. Yeah, dude. Everybody would watch it.
And it's not given. Like I said, one day I'll do a video and it'll get 1,000 views, and then the next week I'll do another video, it gets 200. I'm like, oh well, that sucks for that.
Yeah, there's no rhyme or reason. And I think, I'm like, you don't know if it's hashtags, if it's how the time you upload. There's so many like tricks. It's like, nope, it chooses. You have no control over it.
Yeah, like everybody has different things too. So it's like, my algorithm is totally different from yours. So my algorithm 100%. Tells me that, like me, if I post Saturday morning, my video does well. If I did it on like Monday morning or Monday night kind of thing. But if you post on Monday night, it might do, you know, skyrocketing numbers for you. you know.
It's great. Yeah, if I do videos on Friday and Saturday, Sunday, it doesn't do anything. They just kind of sit there, and then they'll start picking up steam during the work week. But if I go during the work week, it's like, oh, and if they're shorter videos, 7-10 minutes, it seems to do. But I don't know. It's crazy. It's a weird thing to try to crack, man.
Yeah, and sometimes I try to make it between 8 to 12 minutes, but sometimes I'll have like a 21-minute video. It's like, all right, now I gotta cut down all this stuff to make it at least 15 minutes. Cause like sometimes I can talk and talk and talk. And I'm like, I don't know if people hear this or not. So there's a lot of things that don't make it to my videos. I'm cutting a lot of stuff out of my videos.
Do you kind of like have a script when you're making a video? It seems like the Beetle Dude one had a really good flow, and it just it was very organic. Like,
yeah. So Beetle Dude was one where so I do a lot of things in my mind. So in my mind, I edited it was all edited in my head. And then I went to like the people who were in the video, like Mel, Garrett and stuff. I was like, hey, can you do this intro for me? Have Beetle, say Beetle Dude and have me come out. Well, Mel sent me a video and she did some extra stuff. And I was like, oh, I could use this later on in the video for something, or I can make my intro a little different. So I'm glad that she did that. So then I rewrote it. And then Tabata, Brandon from Tabata Vision Films, he sent me one with him and his daughter. They were supposed to say Beetle Dude, but he ended up saying Beetlejuice. And I was like, okay, I don't want to
play with that.
I can play with. I don't want. So that's what I did. I put him a little later, and I made up the whole thing about how if an innocent person says Beetlejuice, then Beetle Dude disappears. So I had to rewrite it and stuff like that. But yeah, when I'm filming, I already have a lot of it edited in my head. And then once I'm editing, I was like, oh, I can work with this. I can do that. I can twist that around. I can do this. And that's what I do. But editing saves me a lot. Like I can't sit there and just press record and talk because I mess up 1,000 times. So if you're afraid of messing up, I mess up all day, or otherwise you'd hear me stutter or say the wrong thing. I say the wrong thing all the freaking time. All the time. All the time.
Yeah. And I'll be like, all right, that was 12 takes. Even if most of the take is kind of good, I'm like, my voice flubbed out. Sometimes I'll just leave it in there. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to rant.
Yeah. And then sometimes it's like, I can put a photo over this and kind of Frankenstein it together. And that's what I'll do.
Little transition work.
Yeah.
So what are some things connected to YouTube that just drive you crazy with social media? There's always things that just bother me with it. So I'm just curious as to because you don't do a lot of promotion except for Instagram for the most part.
Yeah,
what do you see on social media is there things that just drive you crazy with are you big into promoting the stuff or?
Yeah. So if I didn't have a YouTube channel, I probably wouldn't have a YouTube. I'm sorry. If I didn't have a YouTube, I probably wouldn't have an Instagram. But I'm glad I have an Instagram, because Instagram is kind of where you do all your business, because you can't message people on YouTube. So Instagram has been a great promotional tool for me to get people, say we're doing a live, throw this up on a story so people going through can be like, oh, they're live. Let's go see what they're doing, kind of thing. Or, I can get people ready for something else. But I'm not big into social media, I'm kind of like a very personal, a private person, I should say. So I don't really if on my Instagram it's going to be entertainment related. The only thing that's not entertainment related that's on my channel is probably going to be once in a while I'll post something about my dog or something like that, because I'm a huge animal lover. So I'm all about animal rights and stuff like that. Nice. But you're probably not going to see a picture of me and me shopping for cars or something like that. You're probably not going to see that on Instagram. It's going to be movie related. Like if I go to a concert, entertainment. So if it has anything to do with entertainment, I'll do it. Maybe if I go to Taco or anything retro. So if I go to Taco Bell and it's the old,
badass new cups they got.
Old 90s cup, I'll take a picture of that. But I'm very particular on what I do, what I post, and what time I do it and whatnot.
Kind of pop culture stuff.
Yeah, pop culture stuff. If it has anything to do with pop culture, I'll talk about it. But I'm not going to be I'm having turkey right now. I'm not going to take a picture of my food.
Yeah, I had mine that was just like it was mostly just photos of my kids, and then I was like, well, I guess I have this stupid channel now, so I'll just I'll
Yeah.
try to promote through. So it's just kind of weird now that it's it's bizarre how
And
some people
like,
just
and I don't follow like family. Family doesn't follow me. I don't have many like my real like my personal friends don't really follow me on here. You know, it's
yeah,
all separate. So like when I scroll through the wall or the feed or whatever, it's all movie stuff. Like
that's awesome.
I don't really care about seeing somebody yell at this person for that and this and that. Like it's just noise I don't want to hear. If I want to see that, I'll
100%.
turn on the news or something like that.
Yeah, my best friends that I'll have, hey man, will you see if this video just loaded on your screen? Because I think it's got a copyright. And they're like, I don't watch your fucking videos. I'm not gonna like I don't tell anybody. I mean, I have a couple of work friends that we talk about it. My wife doesn't watch, my parents don't, like nobody
Yeah,
knows what I do. And I
I
kind of
know.
want to be organic that way. You know, I
Yeah,
think it's cool.
yeah.
I
Well,
like it like that.
and that's the thing. Like when I started this, I was like, I don't want anybody from like film, nobody from wrestling. Like I'm starting from scratch, and I want to see if I can build from there. And I've been pretty proud of myself for being able to do that.
I love it, dude.
Yeah.
Frank just popped in. What's up, Frankie?
Frank, how you doing, buddy?
So, Cody, let's do a little hypothetical. Tomorrow is Friday night. What is your go-to 90s flick? It doesn't have to be horror, it can be anything. Set the mood for me. If it's the 90s and you want to watch your favorite 90s movie, what rituals do you have? Do you have a favorite pizza? Are you a Coke or Pepsi guy? Do you have friends over? What do you have to do to get into the spirit of Friday night in a flick?
Yeah, man. So I am big on movie nights. But it's basically in the '90s, if it was Friday night, I'd be watching some TGIF, and then after that, pop in some VHSs. But man, I'm a big Coke guy. Coca-Cola, of course.
100%.
Yep. So I'm a Coke guy. I like, and I do like Dr. Pepper is good too. I like that as well. So I like pizza and wings. Pizza, my favorite. Oh, good.
Sorry, you got me excited. Keep going.
Yeah, man, I'm a big wing guy, so I like wings. And then I like pizza. I don't trust pizza places that don't serve wings. I just don't.
100%, dude.
Some places like that, and I scoff at them, but or scoff at them.
Fuck them places, man.
I know.
Fuck them.
Same with like when you go to like a burger place and you have to buy burgers and fries separately. I'm like, I don't like that. I'm going somewhere else.
Yeah, it's this is not like an entree. It's not like a la carte. Like the burgers come with the fry. Like
yeah, but I remember
and it better come with fry sauce.
Yeah,
Some fry sauce and some ranch.
I remember Islands used to do that for a while, where they would like you can get the burger and then you get the fries separate. It's like why does your burger not come with the fries? But
that's ridiculous. I have no time for that. No
But
time at all.
You're what?
Dude, I have no time for. Yeah, if you don't have burgers or burgers and fries, pizza and wings. Do you like a little bit of cornmeal on the bottom? Do you like the pizzeria style, like where they got the 1,000-degree oven that's been there since like 1733? That's the best fucking pizza.
I'm not picky, man. I like all pizza. Like, especially growing up, I would do like the 5 for $5 from what is it called? Domino's, where you get like 5 medium, or you get a medium for $5 as long as you bought 3 of them. And now it's like if you buy 3 larges for $7 each,
3 toppings.
Yeah, toppings. Yeah. That's what I get, because I like 3 toppings. So I like jalapeno, ham, and bacon. And then I get a side of their kicker sauce, their buffalo sauce. I always have to have buffalo sauce with my pizza because I like to dip it into it.
Yeah, we're very likely. I worked at like every pizzeria in the world when I was growing up. So whether it was Pizza Hut, Domino's, Pietro's, we have that up here. There's, ones that were like Klondike, just weird, like, I don't know, man, strange pizza places. So I've kind of taken like a recipe from each place and I make homemade pizza. And I just, if you don't have wings with the pizza, what the hell are you doing?
I know. Yeah. It's,
I don't want a salad. I want wings.
Exactly, man. And then there's, man, I like zucchini too. Like the older I got,
pizza?
No, not on my pizza.
Okay.
But like I deep fried zucchini. There's a place I go to called Uncle Sam's, and they have great deep fried zucchini. I like to dip it in buffalo sauce, of course. But yeah, man. So I'm getting some pizza, wings, Coke, and I'm watching. Man, I do some strange double features sometimes. Like I'll throw in like Child's Play 2, and after that, do Problem Child 2.
Okay.
It's my brain works weird like that, or like like for some reason I do like I'll do like Beethoven 1 and 2. That'll be a double feature I would do.
I haven't even thought about. You were talking. I was like, I haven't watched Problem Child 2 since 1994. And I think I have a DVD double pack somewhere.
Oh,
like,
man.
It's a trip.
I'm a big fan.
Oh, that's awesome, dude.
Shout outs to Side Hustle Cinema who sent that to me.
Side Hustle's the shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Beethoven 1 and 2. So you're gonna watch a 90s flick tomorrow night. You got pizza and wings. What are you putting on?
Tomorrow night, let's see. It's funny because next Friday I have plans with my friends. We're doing like a Friendsgiving where we're doing pizza.
That's awesome.
We're doing pizza, wings, and we're doing Crazy for Swayze. We're watching some Swayze movies.
You got a favorite Swayze movie?
Yeah, I like Roadhouse.
Of course.
I like Roadhouse a lot. But I'm a big fan of Ghost. I'm a big fan of Point Break. I'm a big fan of I said Ghost already. Dirty Dancing. So I like a lot of his movies.
I didn't watch Dirty Dancing until a few years ago. My wife was like, you got to watch it. You're going to like it. And it was a good fucking movie. I'm a big fan of Red Dawn, too. I mean, The Outsiders with Swayze. Swayze's he's a legend, man.
Yeah. He has a movie, too, called Youngbloods I like.
I don't know if I've seen that.
It's like him, Keanu Reeves. It's a hockey movie. It's from like the early 80s.
Okay.
Yeah.
He wasn't in, I'm trying to think. He's not in Deuces Wild. He's like, there's some other kind of gang mentality movie that he's in, but I don't think it was that one.
He was also in a movie I think it was called Hit the Road Jack or something like that. I have it. It's a Kino release, and I remember my grandma renting it for me when I was a kid, and then I saw Kino had it, and I bought it recently, but I haven't watched it. It was something like that. He's like kind of like a deadbeat dad, and he's like taking care of his kids, kind of thing on a road trip. I can't remember what it's called. Oh,
Frankie said To Wong Fu.
Yeah, that's a good movie too. I like that.
So good. I mean, if it's tomorrow night, we're right close to Thanksgiving. Friday night is not Friday night without pizza. Pizza's my favorite food, and then probably burgers. But it's November. Rocky came out today, right? I seen that you posted that. Rocky's
48 years ago.
Rocky and Cobra. Yeah, Rocky's one of my. I do that on Thanksgiving. I go as far as I can go until I get the itis from the turkey or whatever.
Yeah.
But, so Friday night tomorrow, I'm going to do Son-in-Law. I do that a couple times a year. Or a couple times in the month because that's my wife's like favorite movie, Son-in-Law. Like
I
for this time,
Son-in-Law, yeah,
dude.
Favorite Pauly Shore movie?
Absolutely, 100. It's a masterpiece. It's got great music. It's everything, dude.
And you know what else I like to watch? Go ahead. Here you go.
Oh, I still have my DVD. Right, I have my DVD from like 2000, and then it started to get wore out, so I bought another one, thinking that maybe like just the ratio would fit. Widescreen or something, but it's still 4:3 like a VHS, and it's so fucking charming, man. I love it.
Such a great movie, man. It just makes me laugh. What else was I gonna say? I have it on VHS actually. I don't have it on disc, but it's on constantly, so I watch it. Same with like Christmas Vacation and like both the Home Alones. Like I've already watched all three of those movies maybe 5 times. Like I'll watch them over and over, like because I still have cable, so it's like on AMC on a repeat, and I'll just like it's one of those movies where it's like I can watch it, like even if it's in the middle of it, I'll watch it till commercials. Then all of a sudden I'm watching it for the second time because it's replaying it.
Yeah, I think I would not to say my dad's favorite movie is Christmas Vacation, but when I think of my dad, that's the movie I think of because it made him laugh the most. So and he's still around, like we hang out and stuff, but. Christmas Vacation, I'll 20 times in December. Like I'll fall asleep to it. I brush if it's on, and we have cable too, so my son's always watching AMC for Home Alone 1 and 2, and
I'm always
Christmas Vacation, dude.
And I laugh at the same things that I laughed at since I was a kid, and like even like because they do like it's like they'll show those 3 movies even in the summer, like they'll do like the Christmas in July kind of thing, and that they do well. Ratings wise, because people they wouldn't show them. They would just show them around Christmas. So that they're doing well.
I have them memorized so much, and I still smack my wife, and she loves them too. But I'm like, Clark's gonna drop a bomb, like she hasn't seen it the other 20 times this month. But I'm just like, I just want to let you know, like we're still in this, right?
You know what I think a low key Christmas movie is? I used to watch it every Christmas Eve. I used to watch it since it came out, and then like the last 10 years or so, I haven't watched it. But it's Look Who's Talking Now. I really, really enjoy Look Who's Talking Now with the dogs.
Yeah.
It's
Is that the second? Is that the second one?
The third one.
The third one. Man, I haven't seen that in a long time. Yeah, that is kind of a sleeper pick.
With Danny DeVito as the dog.
I'm always looking for new Christmas movies to kind of add to the rotation, because you can't just do like, if you're doing scary movies in December, you're not really doing it right, because there's only like 7 of them that are even good. I know that's sacrilegious to people, but there's so many good Christmas movies.
Like, I love Halloween, but man, I love Christmas. So once October's over, I'm okay kind of putting away the horror movies for a little bit. I'll still watch them here. Like, I just watched The Substance a couple days ago. Love that. But man, I love watching like stuff from when I was a kid, like, you know, like Christmas specials and things like that. Like, and especially around Thanksgiving, one of my favorite Thanksgiving movies, or I associate it with Thanksgiving, is like Addams Family Values. You know?
Oh yeah, that's a great movie.
There's really nothing. I mean, like, it just has Thanksgiving vibes, even though it takes place at a summer camp. You know?
Yeah, just the way it feels. Yeah, there's only a few Thanksgiving ones, so if I can find one to kind of fill that, like, I mean, Dutch is there, right?
Yeah.
Trading Places is more December, but yeah, the Rocky movies. Once I was like, this takes place on Thanksgiving, like right around that season, so I'll just binge them, man, like over and over and over again, the whole month.
They have the Rocky marathons for Thanksgiving, and then they have Rocky marathons for 4th of July, and you know, those kind of holidays. So about 2 days a week, 2 times a year, I'll watch them all. What is the first one's your favorite, Rocky?
So it changes, man, as I get every year. The first one was my favorite forever, and then probably from when I was like 10 on, it was Rocky 4. Mm-hmm. So probably I was 20, and then it was Rocky 3, and it was Rocky 3 until like 2 years ago, and now it's Rocky 2. Oh. And I don't know what happened. But now probably the ones that I watched the least have become like, they slowly just overtake the other ones. I went through a big Rocky 5 phase where I watched it for like over and over, because I think it's great still. Like,
yeah, I love Rocky 5, dude. There's something about Rocky Balboa, the movie. I love that one. I think it has like it's just like, it's so sad, and I just feel like I feel for him the whole movie, and I love it's so cool. Like, all the quotes are inspirational. You know, I find myself going back to that one quite often, like I get you out of that slump. Especially like the older you get, the more you relate to Balboa.
You totally do. His character arc is like, it's totally relatable. It's got great quotes. The restaurant being Adrian, like, it's crushing, man.
And losing like people. He's not this like star anymore. He's just like, and that's what I love about the Rocky franchise. A lot of people are like, man, they've made so many of these, and they've like attacked him for, why are you making so many of these? It's like, dude, well, everybody, especially if you're focusing on one person, that one person is going to go through different stages of his life. Why not make a movie for those different 100%. Stages? And it works.
What do you think of the Drago cut, like the Rocky Ford, the director's cut?
So I like the original cut better.
Totally.
Yeah.
But did you get excited when it like, I think it was like $7 when it was on Prime. It was like debuting. I watched that thing 3 times in a row. Text someone like, it's a different movie. You got to check it out.
Well, it is, man. It is it's pretty much a different movie. I went to theaters and saw it.
That's what I didn't. That would have been awesome, dude.
I was the only one there. Me and my sister, we went.
Yeah, the documentary is great. Yeah, I mean, I like it. I think it came on the box set that came out a couple years ago, but it's not Rocky 4, but it's still it's a good switch up when you're so used to the same kind of patterns and rhythms, you know, with Rocky 4. It's less of a music video, more Apollo Creed, trying to fight back, you know. But
and like you said, like, it's also the thing, we're so used to the original Rocky 4 that we've seen over and over again, so that's why we're maybe not too keen on being like, oh, you know what, I don't like that one as well. But maybe if we watched it as much as that one, it's probably going to grow on us, but we're always going to like the one that it's going to make us feel nostalgic.
Yeah, there's a certain tone to part 4 that's just so. What's your favorite Rocky film?
It's Balboa. To be
Balboa? See, that's a nice pick, man. Yeah, I have a group of friends where, you know, it's almost like there's this kind of like, hey, we got to take care of each other as we get older. Like, it's a group thread. And all it will just be like, there's a fire in this, like, just quotes from Balboa, little clips, like hurt bombs. It's hilarious, dude.
Yeah, man. Like the whole, you got some stuff left in the basement, because everybody the older you get, you're like, man, I'm getting too old, blah blah. But you still have that stuff in the basement that you need to get out.
Right. Yeah, old dudes getting sadder. It's just great, man. I love that movie.
I know. I'm like in my 30s, and I feel like I'm Rocky in his 60s.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, I'm 83, so I just turned 41 not too long ago. So it's all about how you feel, right? As cheesy as that shit is.
Yeah.
But
yeah, but yeah, don't get me wrong. I love all the Rockies. The first one's my favorite movie of all time is the first one. Yet my favorite Rocky is the fourth one. It's weird how I score things in my head.
Hey man, I got to address Frank here. He says pizza and squirt. That is a controversial take. I love Ruby Red squirt, and I'll mess up some regular squirt, but pizza and squirt.
I mean, to each his own. If you like that, I'm not a big grapefruit person, but
yeah,
there are people who aren't a big Coke person. So,
and if someone gives me Pepsi, I'm still going to drink it. But I'm just a Coke guy. My wife's from the South, so everywhere you go, it's just Coca-Cola, just everywhere. So kind of got used to it. But big Coke fan.
Yeah, and I never turned down a squirt.
No, just give me something. Yeah. Big fan of anything. So yeah, we're talking. I want to do some horror stuff because I did mention that we would do that. Do you have kind of a list of some of your favorite movies from the 90s that we could just kind of go down in order and go back and forth?
Yeah, I didn't put them in any kind of order, so because I didn't know if you still wanted to do the year thing. I was going to do that right before we got on. And I was like, well, I don't know if he said we're not going to do that or not. So I can do it off the top of my head for sure.
Sweet, man. So I was going to pick a movie, and then I just like all of my scribble. I've got like 7 movies per year, and I was like, I'm the worst, dude.
Yeah.
So 1990, what's your go-to? What's your favorite movie from 1990 of the horror genre? Banger year.
Child's Play 2.
Child's Play 2. Great pick.
Favorite movie is Child's Play 2. That and Rocky fight for number 1 for best movie. Yeah.
Was it the year that you seen Child's Play 2? Like, was it renting it?
I was very young, but I remember Child's Play 3 being out as well. So it had to be after 91 is when I saw it. So I had to be about 3 when I saw it. I was super, super young, but it was the 90s, so it was okay.
Yeah, I think I watched Child's Play 3 first, and then I went back in time as I started to get older. My favorite, it goes back and forth with the It miniseries and then Night of the Living Dead 1990. That's my favorite remake of all time. That's my Night of the Living Dead. I know that's sacrilegious. I love George Romero, but Tom Savini, that movie, the pace, the tone, and then like I said, I got crazy stories having to watch it, sneaking around I don't want to be in here with the Chucky doll. So I'm going to sneak around and watch the It miniseries, and it's multiple nights. So I just have a soft spot for that. That's my Pennywise. Yeah,
for sure.
Moving on, 1991. There's one that everybody always picks. What's your favorite from 91?
Horror movie wise, let's hear yours first, because I want to say Child's Play 3, but I don't.
I wrote down Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, okay. That's a good one. I think I'm going to go Child's Play 3.
Child's Play 3. I love it. 92, I have like 7 titles. I'm going to go first on this one. The first one that I think of when I think 92 is Dead Alive. That's one of my favorite movies of all time. I don't close October until my brother comes over and we hang out and watch Dead Alive. But I think Candyman changed my life growing up. I had the worst babysitter of all time. And she let me watch Candyman when I was probably 9, something like that. Scared the shit out of me. And I like Single White Female. I love like 90s thrillers. Single White Female fucked me up, man. Mm-hmm. I was lots of nudity, it was just a crazy movie. So what the hell's going on? And then Dracula 92, that's one of my favorite movies too. And then Twin Peaks, I'm a huge David Lynch fan. So I stole all the 92s. What you got?
92, if you watch my channel, you know I'm a huge, huge fan of 90s thrillers. So it's going to be The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. That low key is the movie that started when The Hand That Rocks the Cradle came out, they fast tracked Single White Female, and Single White Female is the one that gets all the glory. So I like Single White Female, but when people mention it, I'm just like, oh. You mentioned it, but I'm just like, man, have you seen that? I'll mention, have you seen The Hand That Rocks the Cradle? Like, I've never heard of it. It's like, dang, you've never heard of it? It's like,
so 2 movies that were always on my mom's shelf. The Hand That Rocks the Cradle and Sleeping with the Enemy. They're like right next to each other.
I love Sleeping with the Enemy.
So and all those kind of
yeah. Oh, Eli, if we were going by our favorite movies of all time, it would be, or favorite movies of the year, it would be Batman Returns.
Dude. So that's your go-to.
Yeah.
Nice. Frank saying Goodfellas. It's not that Goodfellas. I mean, I've got a giant poster one sheet out here somewhere. Good. I love Goodfellas so much, but we're talking horror right now, Frank. Come on, man.
You have an original.
Hey,
Bob.
Yeah, I've got a one sheet of Goodfellas over there in the corner that I
was
need
that
to
expensive?
like.
I feel like that'd be an expensive one.
It was probably like $300.
Wow. Okay.
See,
the most I've ever spent on one is 129, and that was Mrs. Doubtfire.
Ooh, see, that's awesome though. I would totally pay $130 for Mrs. Doubtfire.
And mine are all 80s, or I'm sorry, mine are all 90s and above. Because when you get to the 80s, they're like a different size, and they like, first of all, the frame jumps up like $100.
Yeah, they don't fit, dude.
And then the movie or the poster itself are just way expensive. So I don't have any 80s, or else it'd be a whole plethora of other ones I'd put up.
Yeah, I don't think I have. I have a Reanimator, but I think that's a reprint, so it doesn't count. But
well, and there's something about, because I've always liked posters, but I got into this at the original poster game when I started, because I saw like Garrett, he would have his posters up in the back. He'd have 3 of them. I was like, man, that's really cool. So I looked it up. Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. It was $10 for an original one sheet. That's ridiculous. I looked at Hand That Rocks the Cradle. It was $10. And I was like, are you kidding me? And then I got Beethoven for $4.99. And then I was just like, it just started growing. I was like, oh my God, like all the posters I have aren't expensive at all. So I'm okay staying with the 90s, because it's all, I understand there are a lot of posters I want and nobody else wants. Like I have like a, It's Pat poster. Nobody wants It's Pat.
It's Pat.
Yeah. Nobody wants that but me, Nobody wants the Beverly Hillbillies the movie poster. That's just me.
Oh, dude, that's awesome. Yeah. So you've just got ones that you're going to kind of like recycle through the frames, and
yeah,
those original frames are super.
Yeah. So I have one frame. It's a 27 by 40. I just take out the poster and switch them out, and it was like it's one I got from Walmart. So it was like $25, and I've only had to replace it once because they're not meant to be open all this time. So like the things are kind of cheap, so like the clips break.
Yeah,
so I get a new one.
Mine are always falling apart. What's up, CHH? He's in here. Oh, go ahead, man.
Yeah, what's up, buddy? I was just talking to him too before I jumped on here. The one thing about when you have something like this, like, dude, I got the Little Giants one sheet. And I put it in the frame and like put it up, and it was like, it took me back. Like I was like it was like I like shell shocked. I was like, it was kind of like this overwhelming feel of emotions. I was like, wow,
dude, I get it, man.
It was weird, but I was just like, man, it's like I grew up watching this movie, saw it on the VHS all the time. Now it's like, I have the poster here. Like, I absolutely love posters, especially the old school ones.
Oh, 100%.
Like the Flintstone movies. That's another poster I love. That like I put it in. I'm just like, man, this is great. And it's like one of those things where it's like, does anybody else care about this? But I do. But I do get a lot of comments on my posters. Like, oh my God, you got a Running Scared poster. I didn't even think anyone knew that movie, kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, what you have a couple weeks ago, you had like Daylight back there. It just reminds me of going to my mom and pop video store, and they were just on the wall. Like you went through them. Like you went through the beaded to the adult section. There was just posters everywhere, dude.
I almost put in Breakdown, because that's one of my favorite like thriller action movies is Breakdown with
dude.
Kurt Russell.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, I almost put that in tonight, but I was like, I'll keep Child's Play because I knew we were going to talk about horror.
Yeah, no, Breakdowns. That's a 10 out of 10 right there. I mean, that is such an amazing suspense thriller. Love it. Were we on 93?
Yeah.
My favorite from 93, no one ever really watches, but it's Necronomicon, Book of the Dead. There's a really expensive release that was like $40 on Blu-ray, and then I've got it on tape too. And then Return of the Living Dead 3, and that's my 93. What do you got?
Dude, Return of the Living Dead 3, that was the Return of the Living Dead I grew up with. So like that's my favorite out of all three of them. I mean, like I watched that the most, and then I went back and watched the other two, like actually like within the last 10 years.
Yeah.
But I love for three. But mine for horror for 1993 is going to be Leprechaun. I love Leprechaun. I don't know if you can see him back there. He's hanging out with the crypt.
Yeah, I watched your video. That's awesome. Dude.
So yeah, I have a soft spot for the Leprechaun.
And he was taken seriously back in '93. Like when I was 9 or whatever, like 9, 10, that was a scary movie, man.
Yeah,
like,
I like
pre-Friends. It was just I love Leprechaun. Mm-hmm. I struggled. I wrote it and then I kind of crossed it off and then went back and forth.
Dude, but not a lot of people like Leprechaun. A lot of people.
I love it. That's my favorite one.
Yeah.
It's so good, dude. My son's afraid of it because, like, March, there's not a lot of movies to watch. So you're kind of like, chumming the barrel. Frank said True Romance. That's like my third or fourth favorite movie of all time. That's my favorite Tony Scott movie. I love Tony Scott. Underrated. True Romance. I've got framed photos in our bedroom. We've got like the quotes on the wall. So we were talking just non-horror True Romance. It's right there.
If this was non-horror, it'd be a whole different conversation.
100%. There's so many good movies from the 90s. My second stick, he's got a few of them on there. 94, I went In the Mouth of Madness. That's my favorite John Carpenter movie next to The Thing. I'm a huge Lovecraft fan, so I think that movie wigged me out. I could rant about that movie for a long time. And then we love some Interview with the Vampire. My wife's from New Orleans, and Cemetery Man. I'm a huge fan of. But 94, there's a lot of good movies. So curious. To see
94. Yeah. So I like The Crow is in my top 5 favorite movies. But I don't know if you can consider that a horror. But I feel like if you do Interview with the Vampire, I feel like then Crow could kind of fit in there.
Yeah, it's horror adjacent. It's right there.
Yeah, dude. And I'm a big fan of Pumpkinhead 2. Growing up, that was my favorite Pumpkinhead. Now it's
I love Pumpkinhead 2,
but I like Pumpkinhead 2 a lot.
Part 2 is the best, man. It's so good. They're saying Tombstone. I mean, I grew up on Western, so Tombstone's just Godspeak around here. Frank's saying Leon, which is The Professional, another one that's not horror, but Gary Oldman acting his ass off.
94.
Pulp Fiction.
94
is stacked.
So many movies.
Eli says Leprechaun is awesome. His favorite is Part 3 in Vegas.
3 is actually my favorite as well.
Is it? Nice. Frank agrees about Cemetery Man. 95. I went with the double take for Tales from the Crypt, Demon Knight, and Tales from the Hood, with the little Lord of Illusions, Clyde Barker in there too. And then 795. That's like one of my favorite movies of all time too. 7. I think it's 95.
Yeah, let's see about 95. I'm looking it up right now because I can't think of. I'm a big Rumpelstiltskin fan, so I might have.
It's hard not to put that on there.
But I think I'm going to go with Leprechaun 3.
Leprechaun 3. If that's your favorite one, I mean, it's right there.
Yeah, I think I'm going Leprechaun 3 for a favorite. Yeah, Leprechaun 3 for sure.
Yeah, there's some good movies in 95. 96, I went with Bad Moon. From Dusk Till Dawn.
I freaking love Bad Moon. So I'm a huge dog fan. So I saw Bad Moon for the first time during the pandemic, and I was like, how did I not know that there was dude, there's a horror movie starring a dog. Like the dog is the hero of the movie. So I freaking love that. That's my favorite werewolf movie. But my favorite movie of 96 is it's a kind of a boring answer, but it's going to be Scream.
Yeah. I mean, that's when you Google horror movies 96, that's the heavyweight king, the champion. I didn't controversial take. I did not like Scream when it came out. I think I was 12 or 13. I love Wes Craven. I like even his bad movies. I'm a huge Wes Craven mark, but I thought, I don't know. Everybody loved it around me, so I was like kind of a punker and trying to just be like, I was trying to be edgy, I think, but going back in time, I love Scream.
Scream, like it scared me and like my jaw dropped. I was like at the ending, I was like, man. But I was I was 9 when that came out. So when that came out, I remember watching it. Well, of course, the promotion for it is on MTV and everything, which is what I was watching
everywhere, dude.
I remember it finally came out. I remember watching the pay-per-view channel. You remember you used to have pay-per-view channel?
Oh,
They'd
yeah,
show,
yeah.
like,
Oh, yeah.
trailers. I remember they'd show that. It was like that, GoldenEye, and Beavis and Butthead Do America. They'd show those trailers over and over again, and I'd watch it for the Scream trailer. And then you could go to the pay-per-view channel and watch it scrambled. So like people, like kids my age were watching scrambled.
They're not gonna know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I was watching scrambled Scream. So it was great. So, and I'm happy that, my grandma rented it for me. I rented it. And I remember my mom coming in like during the ending of it or whatever and saw the twist ending. And even she was like, oh, like she was impressed. And I was like, wow, this is impressive people around me.
It's great. It's great.
So
it really is.
It really changed my, like, I always wanted to be like an actor when I was a little kid. And then once Scream came out, I was like, I started thinking about the writing. I was like, man, you could really shock people here. And I really liked it.
And it's so kind of a movie within a movie. Like as I grew up and started watching it, it was just kind of like we went through these phases with Scream and Paranormal Activity, Saw, where there's just like you get so many movies from a franchise that I was just kind of like I don't know. I didn't take the bait at first, and now I love it, but it took a while.
Mm-hmm.
97, my favorite film is it's Event Horizon and The Devil's Advocate.
Nice. So 97, mine is gonna be I'm gonna stay on the Scream train, but I'm gonna go with I Know You Did Last Summer.
Great film. It's pretty much the same as Scream, but
yeah, and I'm a fan of the post-Scream movies because that was like when me and my friends were hanging out watching movies, was that time frame kind of thing.
Yeah, it was like kind of like not trying to pay attention to those movies, and then I started dating a lot, and they wanted to watch that. I was like, oh, girls are scared. This is going to be great. And so you start to follow the trend, Yeah, I Know What You Did Last Summer. I also love. Did we talk about Fear? Fear from '96, the Mark Wahlberg movie. I fucking love Fear, man. Love that movie.
I love Fear as well. Like those 90s thrillers, they just don't make them like they used to. And I love them. Dude, there's a movie with Megan Fox that just came out where she's like an AI robot. She's like she's like a maid or whatnot. So basically it's like Megan mixed with The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. So like the mom of the house is sick. So they have to buy this robot to help take care of the house. But then like she kind of starts to seduce the father. Okay. And then it becomes something like it's like a Megan and even the mom in the movie is the little girl from Hand That Rocks the Cradle. So
that's a little callback, almost kind of Stepford Wivesy, where it's like that's awesome.
Yeah, it's called like it's like The Severance or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but I thought it was really good. I thought Megan Fox played this robot really well.
I'm going to put that on my list, man. Great. Yeah.
And it was straight to like VOD. So
let's check it out. Sometimes those ones that just go straight to, you'll take a chance on renting it for $3.99 or buying it for $5.99. And sometimes you really get a gem when you're not expecting it.
Yeah. Well,
then your Amazon library is growing.
Yeah. I saw the trailer and I was like, I'm a big fan of Hand That Rocks the Cradle, big fan of Megan. So I was like, let's see what this is about. And I really enjoyed it.
98, there's some good movies in 98, but it's not the best. So I went with Strangeland. That was the most effective movie I think I seen when I was growing up. And then I love Fallen too, kind of like playing off the 7, but Strangeland blew my mind when I watched that for the first time.
There's some good ones. They're Bride of Chucky, Halloween H2O.
H2O is great.
I'm a big fan of I Still Did Last Summer, but I think I'm going to go with Halloween H2O, even though I am a big fan of Urban Legends. Dude, in Strangeland, it's funny. I remember when Strangeland came out, and at my elementary school, there was a mom that was like trying to get all the kids to watch it. They're like, if you go on the internet, this is going to happen. So like they tried to show us this thing, but they didn't know there was a movie that terrified me from the internet, and it was called Campfire Tales. Have you ever seen Campfire Tales?
Oh yeah, dude, that's a great fucking movie.
Yeah, so there's like the second segment. It's called People Can Lick Too. Scared me, terrified me.
Oh, dude.
And I think about it constantly. That segment.
Yeah, that's a great movie, man. I think I have it on VHS. It's been a long time.
Yeah, I have it on VHS too. Yeah.
Great movie. Frank, somebody else said The Faculty. Great, too. Great movie. Frank went with Species. A couple of comments back. Love Species. Natasha Henstridge. Dark City.
When did Lawnmower Man come out? Because that was also a low key banger.
Was that 93 or 92?
It was 93. Okay. Because man, I forgot about that movie.
That's a really good one. Those kind of all fall, Dr. Giggles, Lawnmower Man. There was definitely like that 90s kind of thriller.
Yeah.
Yeah. Urban kind of, yeah. Great movie. 99, it's Blair Witch Project.
Oh man, that's a good.
I want to talk to you just about the Blair Witch, but let's hear what your 99 pick is first.
99, I think I'm going to go with. Dude, I'm going to go with Deep Blue Sea.
Deep Blue Sea, nice.
Deep Blue Sea.
There's some great. Sleepy Hollows. Yeah. There's a lot of really good films from 99, like incredible films.
What other movies from 99 that I actually really like is The Rage Carrie 2. I remember watching.
It's not bad, man.
I watched that a lot. I remember we had a free preview weekend. And do you remember who Sinbad is? He had like a sitcom and he's like a comedian. Mm-hmm. He used to do these things where like it was like free preview weekend when you had cable, you get like the free preview weekend of like HBO or whatnot. But they used to have a host, and he used to be the host. And I remember, he'd be like outside by like the pool of the hotel or whatever with all these like people, and he'd be hosting this thing. But anyways, one of the movies he showed was The Rage Carrie 2, and I remember watching it. I really liked it. I remember the night too. It was like The Rage Carrie 2 and Varsity Blues. I fell in love with both of them, and I got them for Christmas that year, and I just watched them all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. So how you were 11, 12, something like that when Blair Witch came out, did you get to watch it? Do you remember the buzz around that film?
Yes, I remember the buzz. My friend's mom bought it for him on VHS, and we watched it. And it freaked the crap out of me, man. It was scary. It's scary. And I haven't seen it in probably 20 years. And have you seen it recently?
Yeah, I watch it. That's one of my favorite. I watch it every October. I just feel like
it still holds up.
Still holds up.
Yeah, it's one of those movies where it's like, I feel like if I were to maybe like somebody who was 16, I was like, hey, you got to watch this movie. It's scary. They're going to be so bored with it. Do you think that would be the case or no? Like the younger crowd?
Man, I do think it was kind of like right place, right time, and it's just a pop culture phenomenon.
But I scared everybody. I don't care what anybody says. Same with Signs. When that alien walks past, dude. If you watch it now and okay, it looks like somebody in. When you try to tell people this was the scariest thing in 2021 or 2001 or whenever it came out, people would laugh at you. But man, that was people literally jumped out of their seats when that alien walked by.
Oh yeah, dude.
That's the same with the Blair Witch Project. Like I was afraid to sleep that night, and I was somebody who watched horror a lot.
Yeah, so my dad worked for the cable company, so we always had like those little traps that would screw into the back so you could get free wrestling. Mike Tyson, right? I didn't miss a Tyson fight my whole life. Like we would have all of those. Instead of free previews, I would just have to go to his room, grab the little bag, and be like, okay, showtime, Skinamax. Like I would just go through them. Yeah. And so he always had like cutting edge. We always had like cutting edge kind of like technology because he would get it from the cable company. And so he would control the family computer, and the family computer everybody had to use. So you had to be careful on it. And the Blair Witch had these promotional, where they would go to the website, and the World Wide Web was still pretty new, and it was freaking him out. And then it would be on a cable spot. He'd have to it would be on his flyers and stuff when he would be trying to get people to, go into it. So I was forbidden to watch it. I think I just started driving. So I snuck out, went and watched it with all my friends, the midnight showing that Thursday night.
Dang.
Fucking ruined me, man. I thought it was just the best. It scared me so bad. I loved it. I have such reverence for that movie. You had to be there. Like
was it a sold out crowd? I imagine.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I missed
there was kind of like before, Star Wars Episode 1 came out, people be in line playing Trivial Pursuit and just they camp out. There was a line for it was like 6 hours long to get in. Just there was such a buzz. It was like no one was even breathing. It was so intense. Popcorn and Coke, Blair Witch blew my mind. I could not even believe it.
I was seeing a movie recently, and I remember turning to the person I was with. I was like, I kind of miss like because I remember we were at the spot where like we would look over, and I was like, man, do you remember we used to stand in line for hours to get into that theater for the midnight showing? It's like I kind of miss that. It was fun getting, we're
Camping out.
excited. We're excited to get out of work or whatnot, and we're gonna go, go to the whatever's coming out, and maybe Saw 4 is coming out or something. We're excited to go see that or whatever. But it's like I miss standing in line for movies sometimes.
Dude, 100 that camping out feeling, and the girls might have a blanket, you got sodas or whatever you're doing. It was just such a vibe. Everyone was just excited you have to be here because you can't go online and stream it. No one's talking to like you can't do there's no cell phones. 99, I mean, it was the world was like word of mouth.
Yeah, man. It was event.
Blew my mind.
It was event movies. I miss event stuff,
And then, Frank mentioned Stir of Echoes and Blair Witch. Stir of Echoes, amazing, underrated. Is that even the thing? Everyone knows that's a great movie, right?
Everyone's better with bacon.
Everything. And then Eli said Book of Shadows, which kind of a similar theater experience where everybody was hyped to go see it because they released that The Curse of the Blair Witch, where you could get the double tape from Hastings Video, and you're like, this is just a this isn't what I thought it was going to be. But then Book of Shadows. I love Book of Shadows.
So I only saw it once when it first came out, and I hated it. But I have a feeling if I watched it now, I would understand it a lot more. Just like I was one of those people who didn't like Halloween 3 because Michael Myers wasn't in it. But I watched it later on in life, and now I like it, kind of thing. Because I appreciate it and understand it. I wasn't blindsided, where I was like, what is this? It's kind of like if I was going to watch a Scream movie and Ghostface wasn't in it, I'd be like, what the hell?
Or it was found footage, Ghostface. You'd be like, what is going on? Because Book of Shadows, people wanted action, so you're like, oh, this is way different. Marilyn Manson's pumping through, like it's got a great sound. Like it was a vibe. It just was way different than what people thought. I loved it when it came out, but I get why people are kind of like, it was way different. Yeah. And then Frank's saying, I highly recommend the Second Sight. I need to get that with the new cut, the festival cut. Frank says after 45 minutes, the movie gets pretty damn good. I think that the current crowd, it might be a little slow for them, but I like the first 20 minutes where they're interviewing the townspeople and you're getting the backstory. But I like slow burn movies. I like, it's just kind of me.
Yeah, and it's like those movies are perfect. Like you have to turn off the lights and you have to just focus. No double screening it. Put your phone down. Don't even look at it because it ruins the whole movie that way. Because you have to be intent and watch it. Same with like a Paranormal Activity. Those were some of the scariest movies I've seen in theaters. But
100%.
I haven't watched them at home, but I feel like it's a different experience at home, unless you have lights off and you're not paying attention to anything else. But it's hard. It's hard for people not to. Sometimes when I'm hanging out with my friends, sometimes they'll get on their phone and it's like it distracts me, and I'm just like,
dude, what the fuck are you doing?
And they're missing things. So it's like, man. So like a lot of times when I watch movies by myself, I don't have my phone out.
It's one of the best inventions, but it really it takes people out of the moment, like constantly, like just absorb what's happening.
Yeah, all the time.
How did we get around without Google Maps, dude? True that. I remember MapQuest. I would be going to a concert in Seattle at some small little dive to go see some horrible 90s, But you have to print off the instructions before you even drove.
You're like,
dude, give me the MapQuest.
Yeah. Thank God I was not around when you had to pull out a map because I look at those maps and it's like I don't know how people got around with this. I wouldn't know how to follow this at all. If I was lost in the wilderness and they gave me a map and a compass,
you're stuck.
I'd be like, I'm dying here.
Yeah, I'm eating my shoes and then I guess my belt. It's fine. Yeah. Eli says H3 is his second favorite Halloween movie. I love Halloween 3, but it is way different. You have to get used to it.
Yeah, I have a lot more love for it now.
Man, yeah, that was pretty fun going down the Blair Witch rabbit hole. Made me really. I can like smell the popcorn. I can see the carpet of the theater.
Yeah,
it was such a vibe, man. And then I'm like, I'm gonna get in trouble. So there's the added bonus,
Man, there's a guy on YouTube that I recently found maybe a month or so ago. He has like all this footage of him as like he had to be like 17, 16, 18 in like 99 or whatnot. But he's like he videotaped everything. Like there's a video of him going to Blair Witch Project opening night, and like he's seeing all the signs that say sold out, sold out. It's a really cool channel. I'll try to find that video and send it to you, but it's really cool.
You should, man.
And there's a video of him walking around the movie store in 1993 looking at movies and stuff, and they're talking about like the new Hellraiser coming out. You know, it's pretty cool, very nostalgic.
So I was going to ask you about that. I don't know if it's, I'm getting older or what, but since probably like the last 5 years, I have this thing on Sunday nights. I just do, me and my brother do it. We don't like hang out together, but it's like feature film Sunday. Like you got to do something from the 90s that's a feature film that makes you feel good. But sometimes if I'm not sure what to watch, I'll just watch 90s commercials. I'll watch wrestling documentaries. I'll do like the history of the N64, or I'll watch Nintendo. Like if there's a Nintendo documentary, I'll gobble up video game stuff. Yeah, anything that has people in the 90s. I need that around. It's a weird Sundays. I just get this weird nostalgia. Like the work week's coming. I'm not going to survive. I need to take care of myself.
Well, it's funny too, because like people ask me how I stay, like people in my real life, they'll ask me like how I stay connected to like my childhood and how do I not get like writer's block and whatnot, from like when I'm talking to my film friends and whatnot. And I tell them, I was like, man, you have to stay young. Like you can't fully grow up. You have to keep that little bit of madness inside you, like Warren Holmes would say. You have that little spark of madness. Don't let it leave. So like what I do is like I'll watch a show from like my childhood. So the mask cartoon. I'll put in and watch like a couple episodes of that, and all of a sudden the juices get flowing again. Like you have to take yourself back. Go watch some Earthworm Jim or something. And you're like starts getting stuff going. Like what I've been doing a lot lately is I watch a lot of Darkwing Duck, and I'm sure
I fucking love Darkwing Duck.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm sure normal people are probably like, oh my god, this guy's watching cartoons, because most people stopped watching cartoons when they were like 10 or in 6th grade or whatnot. But it helps me going back to watching some of those things. And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the old cartoon, is another cartoon that really helps me get creative.
This is exactly what I wanted tonight to do also. So now the comments are coming in. It's like Darkwing Duck is the shit. My son's favorite movie right now is a Goofy movie, and that's my favorite animated film of all time. So obviously I showed it to him. The music is what takes me back. Oh, he's got it. He's got it. That's so sick, dude.
Yeah, right there.
Teasing.
And it's signed. Where is it? Signed by Goofy.
The legend. That's crazy.
And then down here, it's signed by Pete. Jim Cummings, who also plays Darkwing Duck. But dude,
it's just sitting there.
Yeah, and this poster, I like this poster because
that is so awesome, dude.
It has like little coupons on it for like what's coming out next. Like it has like Angels in the Outfields coming out, and
I can't even believe that. See, you think you know somebody. I love a Goofy movie, man. That takes me back. I think I had the soundtrack when I was. I don't know if they had. I would record it on a little like not the Talkboy, but I would like. Yeah. I'd have the little tape recorder, and I would try to record the. All I need is half. I just couldn't get enough of it, man. What's something I have stuck in my head today? The one where he's like walking to school, talking about how he's going to win over Roxanne. He's like, she looked right through me. Like that's stuck in my head all day today. I just total nerd, man. I love it. I just last week because I met them last Saturday and had this poster signed. So that's why it's so right here. I haven't done anything with it, but yeah, I just met Jim Cummings and the guy who plays Goofy. Can't think of his name. Sickness, dude. Yeah. the chat wants to know: is it signed by Powerline? It's not signed by Tevin Campbell. I would love it to be signed by him, though. That's so awesome, dude. Yeah, going. I mean, I think the one thing that comes across screen, especially if I'm watching your channel or if I'm watching you on live streams, you have not lost that. That is what I think draws people to you and why they want to talk to you, because it's just infectious, man. People need to feel that way. Like you need positive people in your life, and well, this chat's cracking me up. Appreciate that. Yeah, man. I definitely feel it. Because man, this stuff I can't go to my neighbor and talk about this stuff. He wants to talk about land property taxes and whatnot, and I don't give a shit about that. I want to talk about Powerline. And if I brought up Powerline
if I brought up power line next door, he'd be like, "Oh yeah, the power line's up there. We gotta." So no,
They're slipping. We got to vote no on that. Vote on the power lines.
Yeah,
We're not doing that. Eli says, "Yo, Stacy, talk to me, baby." Is that Pauly Shore? 100%. That's Pauly fucking Shore.
Yeah, man.
I still quote it like it comes up in conversation with pizza. When I think of pizza, I want PJs dripping. Yeah, man. 100%.
Yeah, man.
Eli saying, "Yeah, Cody's got that sleeper connection." He does, man. I'm telling. He just pulled out a Goofy movie poster. Legend. That's crazy, dude. So we're talking pizza. I don't know how much longer you got here. I got a couple quick questions for you. What are the 90s was all about? Some of the best. They had some of my best food does not exist anymore. And it's really hard being a food. I mean, you need food to survive, but I love food. I love to eat. What is some of your favorite discounted 90s snacks that you would bring back?
Man, so this is discontinued, but it sometimes comes back around. They're called what the hell were they called? Dunkaroos.
Dunkaroos.
Yeah, so they come back once in a while, but they're not shaped as the kangaroo anymore. They're just like a D. But they still taste the same. But yeah, Dunkaroos is something I really like. And things that you know what I used to love, and I would still eat them. They had them. They were fruit snacks, but they were the shark bites. And
dude,
the white shark was my favorite.
They only give you one per pack, so you have to share it with your family.
Yeah, it was like that. It was that one white, and it was they have like Scooby-Doo fruit snacks that taste close to those. So I do.
Yeah, my son gets those.
I do get those sometimes, and they taste close to those shark bites.
The consistency on the Scooby-Doos are correct to the shark bite. They're not. Some of them are clear, but no, they've got that kind of frosty. We're such food nerds. Yeah, Butterfinger BBs, man. Frank mentioned the Little Caesar Big Bite or the Bigfoot pizza, the 3-footer.
Pizza, man. Yeah, Bigfoot pizza. I love the Bigfoot pizza. I miss that. But yeah,
I was a huge Crystal Clear Pepsi fan. I didn't drink a lot of Pepsi, but my parents would buy Crystal Clear, and I would just gobble that shit up, dude.
Yeah, man. Yeah, like those. You said those peanut butter BBs. I miss those commercials with the Simpsons. Man, they were like those were the best.
Dude, so good. What's up, Frank? See you next time. Thanks for popping in. Doritos 3D. Those were something special, dude. Man, something special.
They brought them back a few years ago, and I remember
they did.
I remember.
Were they in the can? They were in a can this time.
And they were like they had all kinds of different flavors too, but I don't think that they lasted long. But yeah, 3D Doritos. Yeah.
Big fan of just nacho cheese and Cooler Ranch. I like the original Cooler Ranch. That just makes me feel so nostalgic thinking about that, dude.
Do you remember?
I miss. Go ahead.
Like when we were a kid, they had Taco Bell Doritos. Now they have like taco Doritos, but they're not the same. The Taco Bell Doritos and those are not the same, but they try to play them off as the same. And I remember my uncle used to put them in the freezer, and they taste so good. They're the Taco Bell Doritos and put them in the freezer.
Is that a life hack that we just don't know about?
Dude, my uncle puts his Doritos in the freezer, and they are good. So try it.
Man, when I make taco pizza, you got to have spicy nacho for the top. I'm going to have to throw it in the fucking freezer now. Yeah. My favorite Dorito flavor is actually salsa rojo, like the red bag. Now you can get Verde, but I don't like Verde.
Yeah, Verde is not as good.
Do they still have Buffalo Wild Wing, the Buffalo Wing jacked ones, the ones that were like huge?
Yeah, see, and that's like I love Buffalo, but they always a lot of times they do the Buffalo blue cheese combo, and I don't like blue cheese, so it throws me off.
So you're a ranch guy.
I'm ranch over blue cheese.
Same. Now, if you give me sometimes you'll get kind of a sour cream ranchy blue cheese that'll just sneak through there, and I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I'll throw that up.
Well, it's funny because sometimes when they bring you sauces and like they'll give you like a ranch and a blue cheese, sometimes I'm like, I can't tell which one's which. Like it's weird, but if I know which one it is, I'm like, I don't like this. If you tell me that one's blue cheese, I'm like, I don't like it, and I'll be able to taste it then. But yeah,
like it stinks. Yeah. Eli said those weird Orbitz drinks. I remember those with the bubbles inside. Fruitopia in my high school. Fruitopia was everywhere. So were those stupid like Snackwell drinks, or not Snackwell, but the Snapple.
Yeah, and Squeeze-Its. I miss Squeeze-Its.
I love Squeeze-Its.
They have Kool-Aid jammers, but they're just not the same. I miss the
Nah.
squeeze. Where it's like each bottle had a different face on it.
Yeah, dude, the fruit punch, man, strawberry and fruit punch.
You know what I had?
Just hit.
You know what I had a couple days ago were Gushers. At my 7-Eleven, they have Gushers, but they come in like a big pack, and I was like, "Oh, great, that's good." They're good, but man, they taste better when they came in that like weird. Remember when it was
kind
like
of cellophane,
it was like a thick foil that came in. Now it comes in like a just normal thing, and it's just not as good.
I feel like they stuck to that foil, and so you had to kind of work for a Gusher, and then your mouth just exploded.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Massive fan. Yeah, I have kind of like the same. It's funny we're talking here. When I was watching you on somebody's podcast, and you were talking about how cherry Coke was your go-to movie theater drink, and I was like, I gotta talk to Cody about cherry Coke. I totally related. I was like, this is my kind of people. Like, that's my speed.
Yeah, I love cherry Coke. I love making my own cherry Coke sometimes. Man, and that's what I do. Sometimes I'll like last night I had like the grenadine and I was mixing it in with lemonade. That's what I'm doing at like midnight at my house. I'm just coming up with stuff.
The secret sauce.
Yeah,
Razzle dazzle behind
yeah, and then another day it was a full throttle energy drink and I mixed it with some grenadine. And I was like stirring it up with like with a red vine, using that as a straw.
Just keeping it real, man.
That's what the dude's doing at his house at 3:00 in the morning, guys.
I love it. A little behind the scenes. I was at Costco, as you have to do sometimes, and you get the dog and the soda, right? It's always $1.50, and I'm watching this old lady in front of me, and I'm judging her soda pop fountain intake. I'm watching her kind of seeing what tastes good, what's fresh. She's holding up the fucking line. But then she goes light ice, which I appreciate. And she goes Pepsi, and then she goes lemonade for that last two. I'm just spying on her at this point. And I was like, lemonade with Pepsi, and I tried it, and it changed my life because it was so good because I don't really like. I mean, I like Coke, but Pepsi's like it's kind of sweet, but it almost gave it this citrus Pepsi. It worked. I was like,
yeah. Dude, yeah, you know what's funny is like my ex-girlfriend used to do half lemonade and then half Sprite, and it was pretty good.
I can see that. That lemonade that they do is fire, man. I love sweet tea with lemonade. Just the Arnold Palmer.
Yeah, Arnold
Eli
Palmer.
says Pibs.
Yeah, Pib Extreme or whatever.
Pib Extreme.
I prefer Dr. Pepper though over Pib. But yeah,
Dr. Pepper's.
Yeah, cherry Coke.
That
cherry Coke, man.
Cherry Coke's my jam. A lot of movie theaters don't have it, but
really, I miss the old can. Remember, it was like the purple can. That was my favorite cherry Coke can.
It tastes better of that purple can, man. You got the circled cherries on there.
Mm-hmm.
Fire, man, fire. And the cans, you can get them as cold as you want. Throw them in the freezer for like 15 minutes, dude. Mm-hmm. There's a burn to cherry Coke.
Dude, and you know what I noticed, like, because like I have some AMC's around me. They have like the what is it, like what's it called, the mix up or whatever, where you go and get your own drink, and it's like
the freestyle or something.
Yeah, freestyle. That's what it's called. So the cherry Coke doesn't taste. It's still good, but it's not what it like. I'm like this. There's something off with it.
It's artificial. It's not blended correctly.
Yeah,
right?
It's not blended correctly. Like they have their things mixed up in the back. Just like if you go to McDonald's, they have the best Coke because they got everything worked out to a T back there with how they do it. We're like Dr. Pepper from like, I'm not a big fan of the fountain drinks at Taco Bell. They're just like they taste very syrupy.
They always are.
Yeah. But like Coke from McDonald's is my favorite.
Dude, it causes blindness, I think, because I don't even know what I'm doing when I'm coming around the drive-thru. I just stop for like it's so good. Like the straw's bigger, and I know there's a science to it. I'm such a nerd, man. I watch documentaries on how they make it, and I'm like, they're so smart.
Yeah, so I got to do that at home. I've heard that about the straws. Yeah.
Yeah, they keep changing it, try to get like the maximum amount of soda per centimeter, and then there's like the fill ice lines. It's nerdy shit, but
it's good. Yeah. Mexican Cokes are good here. We sell those a lot here in Arizona.
Yeah.
Do you guys have Mexican Cokes there?
100%. We
I wasn't sure because I'm not that far from Mexico, so I didn't know.
No, yeah. So if I'm gonna get Coke, we get it out of a glass bottle if I can. We went to this beach. We went to this Airbnb on the coast last year for Christmas, and we did like a blind. I was like, people wanted. They were like, look, get some soda. I'm like, well, if they don't have Coke in a bottle, I don't really want soda.
Yeah.
You know, I want something else. And so I brought, but they're like, they never tried it. My friends and my mom and shit. So I had this lineup, and Pepsi, Coke,
Yeah.
Coke in a bottle, and yeah, overwhelmingly, Coke in a bottle.
Yeah, I have a friend who that's all he can drink. Like he can't drink other Coke because the
Fructose.
the syrup messes up his stomach and it's just like he's on the toilet for the rest of the day. So like he has to drink the Coke out of the Mexican Cokes. And yeah, I have them when I go to his house and they're straight fire.
Dude, and you keep them in the fridge. The cap doesn't have to stay super tight because of the bottle formation. It's a science, man. It works. It's such a smooth with that real sugar. I love Fanta too, and the Sprite. Anything out of that bottle, it's just fire, man.
Yeah, and I'm a big fan of like grape pop and orange pop and stuff like that. I'm sorry, I'm originally from Michigan, and I've been here, and I say pop, and I've been here for 30 years, but I still call it pop for some reason, even though everybody around me says soda. But yeah. So sometimes when I say pop, I'm like, oh yeah, I have to remember who I'm talking to because some people are like, what the hell is this guy talking about?
My parents said both. So half of my mom's side is from Arizona.
Okay, that's what
she would call it. She would say pop, and then my dad's from Washington, so he would say soda. And my wife calls everything a Coke.
Yeah. Weird. Yes. See, I used to hate that because I'd be over at a friend's house like, hey, you want a Coke? And I'm like, yeah, and they bring me a Pepsi. I was like, this isn't a Coke. You said you're gonna bring me a Coke,
right?
So that took me a while to get used to as well. But yeah, a lot of people out here call it soda. So but I still call it pop.
It's weird. My friends in Florida, they call it pop. I don't really know anybody from Michigan, but I've heard both growing up. I just we call my buddy Soda Pop Will because he's always got a Coke in his hand. Yeah. So he just goes by it now.
That's
so
funny.
we're like the best of both worlds. Anything else? So we'll kind of wrap this thing up, Cody. It's almost been 2 hours, man. I want to thank you for coming on. Let me kind of pick your brain about 90s, kind of get to know you a little bit. I was really curious to hear about the wrestling stuff because I'd never heard you talk about it. I was like, man, I want to kind of hear about that stuff. So
yeah, I usually don't talk about it a lot because people don't ask, and I'm not gonna go out of my, like me, I don't really say a lot of things, but I'll answer people's questions because I don't want to go out, like I don't want to walk up to somebody and be like, hey, let me, start telling them about something that they don't care about. So yeah, if somebody asks me a question, I'll definitely answer it. But I don't want to be. I always don't want to come off as I'm bragging about stuff. So like I let people come to me and ask me about things.
Yeah, it seems like you're a man of many talents. I think you can't just have one thing that you're passionate about because you can definitely burn yourself out doing whether you work, live, whatever you're into. But
yeah,
it's cool to hear the filmmaking side, the YouTube side, the stand-up side, the wrestling side.
Yeah,
I was like, Cody's an interesting dude, man. I want to kind of get to know him and ask some cool questions. So.
Yeah, I tell people I've lived a lifetime a few times, and I'm very happy with that. I've done everything I've wanted to do, so just keep on going.
Cody, want to thank you again, man. It's been great having you on. Where can people find you over there on the Instagrams?
Yep, you can find me on Instagram and YouTube. That's Dude Who Loves Movies. Come on and join me. I'm starting 90s month on December 1st over on my channel.
Dude, I am there, man. That was so awesome. I want to hit this last little chat here where Cody says, love Cody, such an awesome, genuine dude.
Thank you.
That's hard to find these days. So everybody have a great rest of your over here. It's almost midnight. I know it's about that over there as well. So take care of yourselves. Cody, take care, man.
See you later. Thank you.
Cheers.